Amidst all the post-mortems as to what have England done wrong in the series so far, one thing that no one's been saying is maybe Australia is just better at cricket than England. Now, when anyone ever says this, English cricket experts say, well, have a look at that. Overall series wins in the Ashes is pretty similar. Australia's leading 35-32. But I would argue that this misses the point, because in the first 14 years of the Ashes, from 1882 to 1896, they crammed in 12 series. This was when Australia was at its weakest. England won 11 of those series. To get 12 series in 14 years is quite a lot. And over the years, there's also been a few non-Ashes tests that Australia have tended to win. If you just look at actual raw test matches won, it tells a pretty sobering story. In Australia, it's an absolute nightmare for England, 102-57 in favour of Australia. Even in England, it's almost a dead heat. So it's a close contest in England, but in Australia, it's not a close contest. And if we cut it just to after World War I, have a look at that. Australia leading 75-34 in test matches in Australia, more than double what England has. And even in England, Australia leading 45-38, so 120-72. Factor in all the World Cup wins, Australia's dominance of women's cricket as well, and you've got to say, objectively looking at the facts, Australia possibly just are better at cricket than England. Now, as to why that might be, that's a story for another day. And here's one last chart. People say, oh, well, England's been terrible in Australia recently, but then people say, yeah, but Australia hasn't won a series in England since 2001. And they haven't, and there's no denying that. By the 2027 Ashes, it'll be 26 years at least since Australia will have won in England. That's the longest stretch for either side in either country. But it also still marks the truth of how competitive Australia have been. In that time, since Australia's 2001 Ashes series win in England, which was their fourth consecutive series win, in that time, subsequently, England leads Australia 14-8 in England, and Australia leads England 26-4 in Australia. So the fact that Australia lead 3-0 after the first three tests shouldn't be much of a surprise. Since 1980, if you look in Australian series, the first three tests only, England have won just 2 test matches in all that time. 1, the first test in 86-7, and 2, the second test in 2010-11. It's a miracle, really, that the crowds are still turning up and the viewership is still so high. Long may it continue.